Welcome back to my channel, where today we are answering the extraordinary question, Maxwell's car just drove forever. Literally what we found shocked us. Make sure to watch till the end because there is a big reveal at the very end of the video. So without further ado, let's get into it. On an ordinary day in 1984, Maxwell Smart set out on a seemingly routine errand to pick up some oranges from the supermarket. He had no way of knowing that this mundane task would soon turn into a bizarre journey that would test the limits of his sanity and challenge the very fabric of reality as he knew it. Little did Maxwell know that what started out as a simple trip for some fresh citrus fruit would quickly transform into a surreal experience that would leave him questioning everything he had ever known about time, space, and the nature of existence itself. As Max parked his car in the supermarket parking lot, he casually got out, grabbed his basket, and headed towards the entrance. With a list in hand, he was ready to navigate the aisles and pick out the perfect oranges. As he walked through the automatic doors, the familiar sights and sounds of the grocery store enveloped him. The vibrant colors of the produce section, the gentle hum of refrigerators, and the chatter of fellow shoppers created a comforting atmosphere that belied the extraordinary events that were about to unfold. After selecting a basket brimming with juicy oranges, Max proceeded to the checkout counter. As the cashier scanned each orange, their unassuming presence on the conveyor belt began to take on a strange significance. Each beep of the scanner seemed to echo in the suddenly silent store, amplifying the disquieting feeling that had been gnawing at Max's composure. As the final orange was scanned and placed in his basket, Max paid for his groceries and stepped out of the store, unknowingly taking the first steps into a world that would never be the same again. The parking lot, which had seemed so ordinary just moments before, now appeared alien and unfamiliar. The cars around him, once typical family vehicles, now resembled bizarre contraptions from a distant planet. Even the setting sun seemed to hang oddly in the sky, casting long distorted shadows that danced menacingly around him. Panic surged through Max. Realizing he was trapped in a surreal landscape where familiarity had been replaced by unsettling strangeness. In a state of growing terror, Max stumbled back to his car, desperately seeking solace within its confines. As he fumbled with his keys, a sense of urgency propelled him to get inside as quickly as possible. But as the door finally gave way, what he saw next froze the blood in his veins. The interior of his car, once a place of comfort and familiarity, had been transformed into something sinister and menacing. The seats, once soft and welcoming, now bore an unsettling resemblance to the leathery skin of some monstrous creature. The dashboard, once a hub of friendly lights and gauges, now seemed like the scowling face of a malevolent spirit. And the steering wheel, once a symbol of control and direction, now appeared as a grotesque, pulsating mass that seemed to writhe in front of him. Overcome with a primal fear, Max recoiled in horror, desperately trying to make sense of the terrifying metamorphosis that had befallen his once ordinary car. But as the full extent of the transformation revealed itself, a chilling realization dawned on him. This was no longer a vehicle meant to transport him through the mundane roads of everyday life. It had become something else, something sinister and otherworldly. With a growing sense of dread, Max understood that he was trapped not just within a car, but within a nightmare. In a desperate bid to escape the suffocating terror that threatened to consume him, he stumbled out of the car and fled. The horrifying sight burned into his memory. As he ran, the image of the grotesque car pursued him, seeping into his thoughts like a venomous parasite. Each step he took echoed the pounding of his heart, a relentless rhythm that mirrored the escalating panic within him. But as the adrenaline surged through his veins, a horrifying thought pierced through the fog of his terror. There was nowhere to hide, nowhere to escape the sinister presence that seemed to be closing in on him from all sides. He turned frantically, searching for solace, but found only the mocking grin of the supermarket facade. The once friendly entrance now seemed like the gaping maw of a hungry beast, ready to swallow him whole. Trapped in a nightmarish labyrinth, Max realized that his simple errand had become a descent into a terrifying realm where logic had been abandoned and replaced by a suffocating dread. With each passing moment, the grotesque car loomed larger in his mind, a constant reminder of the horrors that awaited him. His quest for oranges had turned into a desperate fight for survival, and Max knew that if he didn't find a way to escape this terrifying ordeal, he might just become another victim of the supermarket's sinister embrace. As the weight of his terrifying situation fully crashed down upon him, a surge of primal fear coursed through his veins. The playful tunes from the store speakers now sounded like the mocking laughter of fiends, each note a tiny nail hammered into the coffin of his sanity. With a renewed sense of urgency, Max scrambled into his car, desperate to escape the suffocating grasp of his nightmare. He slammed the door shut, the metallic clang echoing his pounding heart, and fumbled for the key. As he turned the ignition, a low growl rumbled beneath the hood, sending shivers down his spine. The engine sputtered, coughed, and then with a shuddering lurch, it roared to life. Relief washed over Max, momentarily eclipsing the terror that still lingered in his eyes. He had a chance, however slim, to outrun the horrors that awaited him outside. But as he pressed down on the accelerator, expecting the car to lurch forward, something extraordinary happened. Instead of hurtling away from the nightmare, the car began to move backwards, reversing slowly out of the parking space. Perplexed and shaken, Max fought against the rising tide of panic. He slammed his foot on the brake, but the car kept moving, inching backward at a snail's pace. Paralyzed by fear and disbelief, Max could only watch as the grotesque tableau of the transformed supermarket unfolded behind him. His car, driven by some unseen force, continued its eerie retreat. Each backward movement was a torment, a tangible manifestation of his descent into madness. As the car moved, the image of the nightmarish car in the parking lot imprinted itself onto his retinas, a haunting reminder of the horrors that lay just beyond his rearview mirror. Trapped in a terrifying paradox, Max found himself both fleeing and imprisoned by his own vehicle. His journey, intended to be a simple trip to the supermarket, had become a harrowing journey into the abyss of the unknown. With every agonizingly slow movement backwards, Max felt his sanity slipping further away, leaving him at the mercy of a fate he could neither comprehend nor escape. And then it happened. After what seemed like an eternity, the car lurched forward, jolting Max out of his trance. He looked up, his eyes wide with a mixture of terror and disbelief, as the car shot out of the parking lot and onto the road. But instead of driving away from the supermarket, it started to drive towards it, at an alarming rate. As the car approached the entrance, the image of the nightmarish vehicle loomed larger, becoming clearer with each passing second. Max stared in horrified fascination as the grotesque car emerged from the twilight, its twisted form illuminated in the harsh glare of the headlights. It was as if the embodiment of his deepest fears had materialized before him, mocking his futile attempts to escape. But the shocking revelation was not over. As the car drew closer, Max noticed the driver, or rather, the lack of one. The car was driving itself. There was no one behind the wheel. In a terrifying display of uncanny precision, the car seemed to navigate the road with an intelligence of its own, veering and turning without any visible means of control. It was as though some malevolent entity had hijacked the vehicle, using it as a vessel to carry out its sinister agenda. Max, paralyzed by a mixture of terror and disbelief, could only watch as the driverless car glided towards him, each movement a testament to the unsettling mystery that had enveloped the once ordinary supermarket run. His simple errand had transformed into a terrifying confrontation with the unknown, and the horrifying specter of the self-driving car loomed before him, a harbinger of a fate he could not begin to comprehend. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you liked it, please show your support by giving us a thumbs up and subscribing to our channel. We would love to have you join our family. Do not forget to hit the subscribe button so you never miss out on any of our future videos.